Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Hoodoo Journal. This is titled Hoodoo is a Closed Practice. Here's what that means. So, in this episode, we're going to be talking about what a closed practice is and why Hoodoo is considered a closed practice. So, what exactly is a closed practice? A closed practice is any type of, can be religion, it can be culture in which people share basically a significant I guess you would call it, similarities to each other. So it can be spiritual tradition, it can be a cultural tradition, but it's something that there's something in that that connects everyone that is within that. So the traditions are usually very closely guarded to prevent people from either trying to misinterpret it or even appropriate it. So there are religions that you have to be initiated in. And that initiation is what makes you a part of that group, that religion, or that practice. There are some cultures or practices in which you are initiated, so to speak, or you are a part of it because of ancestry. So hoodoo is one of those things that you are a part of that due to ancestry. So we have the history of America, and part of America was built on the backs of slaves. We read history, we know there's a lot that happened within the creation of the United States, but one of the big things was slavery from the transatlantic slave trade. So they brought from Africa to America and then forced to work on land or whatever jobs, whatever they were made to do. Now, in that connection, we have where our ancestry is. So if you are an African American person living in America, and your background is that which is of or that which was based in slavery, many greats ago, right? Then you are automatically a person who is able to practice hoodoo or do hoodoo work, conjure work, root work. They're all the same thing, different names for different things. But it is that history and it's that ancestry that connects you to hoodoo. And that is what makes the practice itself, or work as I call it, closed. So, who is this message for? Meaning, why am I making this podcast? Why am I saying anything about it? Well, for those who are not descendants of slaves from that were brought here from Africa, there's a difference of appreciating and appropriating. So you can learn about someone's culture. You can learn about the history of the culture, how it's practiced, what is done, what they do, what we do. You can learn those things. You can have an appreciation for it. You might even learn some things because you've been learning about the culture of hoodoo, the practice of hoodoo, and take something from it, meaning that you come away with a lesson. You come away with some type of, oh, okay, this is a way that I can cleanse myself, or this is why we do cleansing. Even if you don't use the same mechanisms to cleanse, I've learned why we do those things. That's fine. But then you have appropriation, which is when you learn and inundate yourself into someone's culture, or maybe just learn a piece of someone's culture and or religion or practices. And then you say, well, I'm going to do that. This is for me. I'm a part of this. We're all doing. And it's no, that's not how that works. I can appreciate Japanese food. I can appreciate Korean culture. I can appreciate many different cultures. But when I sit down and I take a part of their culture and then say, this is what I'm doing because I am in the Korean culture. No, I'm not. But that doesn't mean I can't learn from things. That mean I can't doesn't mean I can't find beauty in. It doesn't mean that if I maybe incorporate a few aspects into what I do, but I am definitely going back and saying, well, this was actually that, and I'm using it this way. I do not actually practice that. That's when you get to the appreciation versus the appropriation. Now, people who are descendants of those Africans who were brought over here during the slave trade, you practice hoodoo the way that you practice hoodoo. There are many people who are trying to get that message through that your way of practicing hoodoo may not be exactly the same way as another person's. One, where did they get dropped? Or not where they got dropped up, where did they wind up? There's also a difference between voodoo and hoodoo. So there's voodoo and there's hoodoo. Voodoo is a religion. Hoodoo is not. It's a cultural practice, but it may actually have, you may have people who are Christians who practice Hoodoo. If you watch my first episode, you can kind of get a idea of why that happened and why that became the way that it is, meshed the way it is. But someone who is practicing Hoodoo may have their people may have moved north. So now they're not practicing Hoodoo exactly the same as they did when they were in the South. So if you are a descendant of African Americans, of Africans from the from slavery in America, then yes, practice Hoodoo, research, talk to others, find your people, as they say, and do what you do. Do that the way you do. So why does it matter that it's closed? Do you know about Four Thieves vinegar? I do have it in my shop. Four Thieves vinegar is great for, it's written backwards, it's great for hoarding and protecting. So you would use this, let's open it up and take a look at what it looks like. And you would be able to wipe down surfaces, wipe down areas that you need to have protected. And give it that protection energy, or give it those beautiful herbs and whatnot that are in this to help you make something that wards, protect your area. This you can even put onto yourself. You want to dilute it before you do that. Drop it into your mop water and mop your areas. But I sell this in my whatnot shop and also on TikTok. So be sure to head over there and get your Four Thieves vinegar. So why does it matter that it's close? Well, we were stripped of our culture. We were told that we could not practice our religion. We could not live the way that we lived when we were in Africa. When our ancestors were in Africa, they were told you are going to um, practice Christianity, you're going to worship this one God. You have many, but that's you're a heathen. Da, da, da. So there are many terms thrown out. Witchcraft, which is a whole nother episode. We talked a little bit about that in episode 1, but you were told that if you did practice your culture, your religion, there would be very harsh repercussions, possibly death, and we don't want that, right? We're here, we're trying to survive. Some of us, our families were brought here. We didn't make our families here. Our families were brought with us, and then we might have even been separated. So we're trying to hold on to anything that we possibly can. So being stripped of that culture means that we created a new one, right? And then we have the shared experience. Again, your ancestors, my ancestors, we were brought here from somewhere else and we tried to survive. We have that shared experience in our DNA, right? Not all of us have the same shade, right? We're not all medium brown, I guess you would call that dark brown. We're light, we come in all different shades, but somewhere in that line, one of our ancestors or a few of our ancestors were slaves. So we have that shared experience that connects us. So we have a connection to each other just from that. In a world that's very much always trying to keep us divided, we're connected by history, might have been traumatic history, but from that traumatic history was born a practice to help give people the strength that they needed to solve their problems, to take some control over situations that they didn't have control over. And then we venerate those ancestors. We pay homage to those ancestors. Voodoo gives us a way to connect and appreciate the ancestors that, again, they came before us. They struggled. I mean, we're here because they made it, right? We're the ones that made it. We're a product of the ones that made it. So it's very important for us to have something that can connect us to that. And that is part of what Hoodoo does. So again, when we're talking about why Hoodoo is closed, it's because it is a practice, it is a working that is specific to a certain set of people and their experiences, right? We have that ancestry and we have that history. Those who are not descendants from that, again, you can appreciate what we do. You can learn about, because learning about other cultures helps to keep us grounded and helps to round us as humans, right? We are connected to people, learning this, learning that. Why do people do what they do? Understanding breeds that comfortability, and it breeds that place where we're not spewing hate because we understand, right? So those of us who are descendants, we practice, we do what we do. We do them in different ways. Not everybody's food will look exactly the same. We were stripped of our culture. We created our own way. And here we are talking freely about Hoodoo. And here making a podcast about it to help to educate people from what I have learned and my experiences with Hoodoo. That's what we'll be doing in our future episodes. So I do hope that you enjoyed our little chat here. If you have any comments, you can always reach out to me on social media. I will post clips and things of that nature. But I just want to make sure that I mention that on Whatnot, I do live streams on Wednesdays, spiritual oracle readings, is what I call them, but it's Hoodoo based. I actually do streams throughout the week on Whatnot. If you head there, my link should be in the bio. You should be able to click that and just check out what I do, what I sell as well. So as usual, I hope you enjoyed yourself. And until next time, keep doing that hoodoo that you do.